What's up, everybody? Ty Bartel in with another edition of Coach's Corner. This time I am joined by our friends from Bomber Country, Jim Collins, the head coach of the Windham Bombers girls basketball team out there. What's up, Coach Collins? How we doing, man?
All right, all right. Already into the grind.
You're telling me too, as I'm sure it's scrimmage season now for all these teams. So talk to me about what you're seeing from the girls too, and what's got you excited for the season.
Um, Actually, I'm seeing a strong work ethic finally. Uh, Last year we was kind of a soft season because we had a lot of freshmen that had to fill some minutes, and we kind of went gloves off a little bit. Went a little soft on the season. Still learning the game, but not really as intense as I normally am. This year, cranked up the intensity a little bit. Have all five starters returning. That's not true. I lost. I lost Tierra McCall to an ACL in summer league, which kind of stinks. But the positive side of that is, for the first time in a handful of years, we were able to do summer league. Got a really athletic young group. Going to take a little bit to rein them in, but we had our preview Thursday at Waterloo, and I felt like we did a lot of things well there. Good positive building blocks to start the year.
Yeah, coach, go up and down this roster a little bit. Let us know some names we got to get used to and just go through your roster.
Starting with my point guard, Kira Sanders. Very aggressive young player, quick hands, quick feet. Drove me crazy all last season, wanting to be a better ball handler, and I can say to you today, she is a much better ball handler. We spent a lot of time during summer league working on her jump shot, and her jump shot's coming around. She's going to eventually be a really good shooter. She's slightly above okay, borderline good right now, but she's getting there. Her backcourt mate, Mackenzie Blockinger, suffered a high ankle sprain Monday, but she'll be back for the start of the season. She too has a high motor, a lot of athletic ability. Speed, I'm not shy on. I got a lot of speed on my team. Um, Competitive spirit's getting there. We're preaching compete every day in practice. She's my go-to defender. She'll take on any challenge. She doesn't back down from it. She's a tough kid. Um, McKenna Jones would be my third guard. She's uber athletic. I mean, man, wow. Watching some of the things she does, you question, wow, how's that possible? But she seems to figure out how to do it. And last year she did it a lot without any understanding of what was in front of her, and now she's starting to grasp defenses in front of her and understand what her options are. So I think the sky's the limit for her when she decides she wants to chase the sky.
Coach, we talk about with smaller schools like Windham too, you kind of have to go through those ebbs and flows through the season. And you knew last year too, okay, we have to take on a little bit more too with a younger team. We have to get them some experience. We need to build that foundation. What's
Correct.
that kind of do for you now in this season? Now that you bring back a lot of experience that has played varsity minutes and quality competition.
Well, before I answer that, I want to talk about my senior leader, the heart of the team. I didn't mention her, and shame on me. Brielle Jones, McKenna's oldest sister. She's a senior. She's been with me for 4 years. The girl just loves to play. She has a heart of gold. Um, she has the best feet of any big I've ever coached. Her footwork is phenomenal. Um, I'd like to see her competitive spirit ramp up a little bit and maybe take on a little bigger role as the leader of the team. She's doing that okay right now, but I'd like for that role to increase on her behalf. Um, and as far as what's that do, hopefully the experience. There's no deer in headlights this year when we go into games. Last year we go into a handful of games, and they watch the other team see the other team warming up, and right away we knew we were in trouble because they were, oh my, did you see her do that? Did you see her do that? So throughout the summer and all that, we preach them. You guys have these abilities. We just have to bring them out, and they put in work. Last couple of days of practice have not been really good, but they're chomping at the bit to get to a scrimmage. We scrimmage Ravenna tomorrow, so hopefully that we get back on the right track as far as the grind. Uh, I look forward to this year. There's going to be a lot of good teams in the NAC. I really feel like it's Maplewood's going to be a juggernaut, obviously. But I really feel in the NAC that we can compete on a night in, night out basis.
Coach, you talk about this team too, and of course, with all teams, you can measure growth in terms of stats too. That's one good way to kind of determine, all right, what are you doing on the floor? But it doesn't always tell the whole story. What are some other ways you measure growth, not just in the players, but also yourself as a coach and what you guys are doing?
Um, a large part of it is watching the young players mature into their spots. Uh, I've done this for a while now. Obviously, you can see all the gray hair. I've been at this a long time. Watching a kid mature into their responsibility as an athlete and a teammate is one of the things that I really watch for. Competitive spirit, even on days you don't have it. I mean, they're athletes. Every athlete chases perfection. You and I both know it's not there, but the chase is what you watch for, and large part watching to see how they, something in the past would shut them down and they wouldn't continue, whereas now you see them go through that growth where, hey, I've been through this before, I know what the outcome will be if I do this, and watching that. um, Team player, that's a big thing. A lot of freshmen, when they come in, they're worried about their self, they're just worried about them. uh, then they finally slowly get the team player grasp, and you watch to see it, are can they be a team player, can they be, or is it all about them? Things like that you watch, other than obviously the physical attributes of playing the game.
Obviously, with this team, I feel like there's a lot of potential for this season. What do you think needs to occur for your team to meet its potential?
Maturity and want to.
So, in terms of that too, how do you kind of bring leadership out of younger players that maybe aren't used to being the loudest voices and aren't used to being the leaders? How do you kind of encourage that?
So, so that's a great question, because the coaches and I just had a conversation about that. Um, you and I both know that there's two ways to be a leader. It's either by action or by voice. Um, if you are a leader that's just going to be a leader by voice, obviously you have to have some sort of action behind that. The strange thing with this group of girls is there's really no voice in the gym. There's no one person that just wants to be, hey, let's go, we got this, we can do this, hey, let's go. There, that voice doesn't exist. But I will say, Brielle is getting there. She does a really good job of leading by example, but she doesn't have the strong voice to motivate them. It was a topic of conversation we just had 2 days ago, I believe, about using your voice to get them to understand that it's time to go. You can be mean and still be in a positive mode while having a mean voice, so to speak.
Coach, you talk about trying to just foster those leaders too with each team, and each team's unique. Each team is different. I don't think a lot of people realize too just how long the high school basketball season is. It takes up darn near half the year too when all is said and done. What's something you feel like fans and maybe people don't realize about the full grind of a high school basketball season?
I don't think fans, I'll even say parents at times, understand the physical toll that it takes on their bodies. The you know I hear a lot of parents, and not just mine, parents in general. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Get out there. I don't think the physical grind of it. Over my years of being a girls coach, the girls game has gotten a lot more physical. It's not quite as physical as the boys game, but it is getting there. And some of these ladies, girls sports, I say it all the time. This is the only girls game that I know of. Well, I guess soccer now, but the only girls game that I knew of that the defender was right in front of them. Softball, they're not. Volleyball, they're on the other side of the net. Basketball is the only sport some of these girls play that the defender's right in front of them, and it takes a toll on them.
You look at this team and you look at this schedule too. You mentioned the NAC. It's going to be always a fun conference, competitive conference. Talk to me about the schedule. Some of the non-conference opponents too. I know you don't get a chance to play too many of them, but some of those that you're excited for too, and some of these matchups that you think are really going to test you prior to the tournament.
So David Anderson, I'm not really sure what that. We were in talks with them, and they had lost a handful. That one I'm excited to see because they usually have a pretty good program, and I'd like to see where we stand up right off the rip, where we're at, both mentally and physically, obviously. And then a team like Campbell is they're an aggressive, fast-paced team, and I want to see if my athletes can hold up to that for the length of a four-quarter game, and see if we can match that, because the Campbell girls, they just play hard. They play fast, they play hard, they never back down, and I want to see how my girls do in that atmosphere. And then obviously teams like Bristol, Randy's got a really good squad over there. Maplewood, they got a really good squad. I mean, they got a good squad, and then obviously Badgers always got a pretty good program. Um, just want to see where we stack up. I think we're a year away from being top of the field, but I think we're middle to upper part of the field right now as we stand, depending on how. I mean, obviously depending injuries and do our freshmen grow up and mature into their roles.
A lot of coaches I talk to mention, of course, the games are fun and game nights are always great, but they almost enjoy practice just as much, if not even more, than the games too. What's one of your favorite parts of practice and getting all the girls together in one gym and getting them back to the lab, as a lot of coaches like to say?
Um, Really, it's not even basketball related. One of my favorite parts about being a coach is just helping them in day to day situations. Like I have an open door policy. I practice at 4:30. I'm at the school usually by 2:45. And if they need help with homework, if they have an issue and they want to talk about it and they don't know who to talk to, um, those are the things I enjoy. But as far as in the gym, I love when one of them challenged me to a game of pig.
Are you still reigning champ, or are there are a
I,
lot of them that are beating you up this year?
in 29 years as a head coach, I have yet to be beat.
Oh wow, you really hold that reigning title then. You hold the championship,
Hey,
the
listen,
chief over here.
I tell them all. I got a 5 year old grandson and a 4 year old granddaughter, and if we play checkers, they got to beat me. I'm not letting them win. You don't get a competitive spirit if you let people win. And believe it or not, some of that stuff rubs off. They take it personal. Um, one I've twice in all my years I've gotten PI, and my little point guard put PI on me at the end of last season, and strangely and oddly enough, my middle daughter Paige got PI on me one year. Other than that, it's never even a contest. And they'll ask the question, why are you so good at shooting? And I said, because when you guys are supposed to be in here working on your jump shot, and you're in here standing around talking, or you shoot a shot, dribble for 20 minutes, shoot a shot. Guys like me that wanted to be good at the game, when we had 20 minutes to work on a jump shot, that's what we did. We worked on our jump shot. That's how you get good at it. It's repetition. It's not stroke of luck.
You talk about that. That's just holding yourself accountable too, as well as you want to hold your teammates accountable. I feel like a lot of the best teams have that kind of trait. How do you kind of try to have accountability in your gym? What does that look like for you?
Um, hmm. So I have a no walking policy. Um, and this year we instituted if one person fumbles, if one person makes a mental mistake, we talk about it. If that mental mistake's made again by anybody else, everybody's held accountable and we run 3 laps. Just trying to get them to understand that being a part of a team, you are accountable for something. If we correct it, let's not keep making the same mistake repeatedly. Let's learn from the mistake. Let's get better. I can tell you we've ran a lot of laps to start the season, but I can also tell you that I am very fond of this group of young ladies for a lot of reasons, but the biggest reason is they trust me to get them to a spot, and I hold them accountable to get to that spot, and it's kind of give and take. My oldest daughter, she's 30 now, makes me old. We won't talk about that, but she always reminds me that Dad, the one thing you've always done with the game of basketball is you've made it fun. We get better, but you make it fun, and don't lose that element. And I kind of lost it at the beginning of this year. Everything was serious. We need to get here. We need to get from A to B. But I'm trying to get back to having fun as well as progressing to get better. You hear the noise. Last couple of years we haven't been really highly successful. We hung a banner 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and 2 years ago, and then last year we had a really down year, and I took it kind of personal, and you hear noise obviously, and it bothers you a little bit, especially when you're uber competitive. But we've kind of gotten back to it's. I think it's a good 50-50 mix. I brought a new coach in. He's my nephew, but he understands the game of basketball, and he's helping me get back to making it fun as well as getting to where we want to get to.
You mentioned too, I mean, the just those moments maybe of when you're reflecting, maybe you have a little bit of self-doubt with that too. How do you kind of combat those type of feelings too? And it's inevitable. I feel like being a coach, as long as you have that, that's going to happen from time to time.
It does. So I reflect on the guys that I looked up to: Mr. Eisler, Coach Hill, Mr. Post guy, my uncle, guys that I played for, that even though there were days they were irritated with me, they stuck to the grind, and kept pushing me to be better. Um, Reflection on where you were, where you want to get to, and the people that mentored you along the way, that they didn't even know they were mentoring you, but you were listening to everything they said, and then you apply it, and you just keep pushing, knowing that what you want to accomplish is the goal you want to accomplish is the biggest thing. It kind of helps ground you a little bit. But yes, as coaches, we do we question a lot of things we do. Um, I've told players in the past, coaches for us, we coach because we can't play. And really, for us, it's just a giant game of chess. But I can't play chess against a great chess player if my pieces don't play hard.
I love it. I love it. For you, coach, and when you talk about your relationship with your players, that's another thing that I love too, is that kind of connection that you form with your players. If we were to go up and down your roster and ask your players what your favorite phrase or saying is during practice and games, what do you think their answer would be?
Shoot, um, probably compete. Compete. Everything we do in here, compete. Just compete. Even if you think you're better, compete. Even if you are better, compete. Right? Push yourself, compete against yourself, push yourself to be better than you were the day before, compete. And a lot of these kids, in our small town, a lot of these kids that I have on the team now, when they were in youth sports, they were the end all be all. I didn't really have to try hard because I was already better. Well, now you're playing against kids that are older than you, and they were in the same boat as you. So now you have to compete. So now we just relearn to compete, compete, compete.
Coach, you mentioned your nephew joining the coaching staff. I want to give you that chance to just highlight your coaching staff. Any other big names too that help out and Wyndham in this Wyndham community for girls basketball?
So yeah, so this year I have two varsity assistants, first time in a long time. Coach Jones, Larry Jones, he's been with me for a couple years now. Um, he's the new head softball coach. So we have decided between the two of us that we wanted to get back to a stricter regimen of what we expect and what we want to do in practice. Um, I feel like when we had our coach and I had the discussion, that we both felt like the winning standard is starting to slip away from our school. And one of the things our school has always been, being an alumnus, and Coach Larry's an alumnus, is it didn't matter who it was on the other side. We were going to do anything in our power to win. And sometimes we both are of the feeling that sometimes that we're okay with knowing that we can't win this battle, so why try? Um, so having him on board is huge. He's a very good coach. He's a player friendly coach. I consider myself a player friendly coach, but being the head coach, you have to be the mean guy sometimes too. Coach T is my nephew. He played for Windham. He spent a year, I think a year, maybe 2 years in junior high. He got moved up this year. He has a lot of X and O knowledge. He understands the game. So if, for example, I have to step out of the gym, we're in good hands because he knows what I want. He's up to date on what we're looking for, and he pushes it. And Coach Smithley is a varsity assistant this year. He come on board. He's a community guy. He does summer softball. He does all kinds of youth stuff, and then he just wants to dip his toes in the water. And I've welcomed him with open arms, and he's been very helpful to this point. Most importantly, I got three coaches and myself that are all on the same page, and we're striving to get back to the winning tradition that is Bomber basketball.
I know you're an old school kind of guy too in terms of the game too, and I've always said this to a lot of the coaches too, that I love this game because there's more than one way to get it done. There's more than one way to be successful, and depending on the staff you have too, it's a variety of different things you can do. In your mind, in your opinion, what does great basketball? What does your version of great basketball look like?
You're gonna hate the answer.
I try me. I don't know if I necessarily would.
Bomber basketball. We're gonna run you and challenge you until you give up.
So with that 94 kind of feet mentality too, where you're always on the run, always on the move. What is the one big challenge in just trying to get these girls, these kids, I guess physically able to keep up with that mentality, that culture of bomber basketball?
So right now we have 12 kids. They're all competing. Um, we're uber athletic 1 through 6. Um, actually, I lied. We're very athletic 1 through 12, but we have an abundance of speed in 1 through 6. So the thing is getting 7 through 12 to understand that they don't have that foot speed, but they do have enough foot speed that they can compete at this level, and they have to trust instincts. Um, Once they again maturing into understanding, can I get this pass or can I not get this pass? Coach says anything in the air is mine. I got to go get it. Well, he does say that, and I do say that, but you have to know whether you can get to the ball or not. And if you come off the floor and say, Coach, I just couldn't get that, so I played it safe, I can respect that. You know what I mean? But I want more often, Coach, I whiffed on that when I should have had it. You know what I mean? That's Bomber basketball. Just get after it. Don't, no fear. I literally just told my point guard last night at practice, when we are in full court man and you're pressing the ball, don't worry about getting beat. Worry about making life miserable for the girl in front of you. If you get beat and she gets to the basket, the four behind you are going to be in trouble, not you. Your job is to make life miserable for her. You're going to get beat. That's their job in the background to take care of it once you get beat. And it was kind of like a light bulb came on for her. She finally got I get it now, because she was a freshman last year and she was very tentative about pressing up on the ball and worried about getting beat. And I told her all last season, don't let them beat you. Three times out of five, you're going to win that battle and make her work. This year, we want it to be 4 out of 5, right? And
Yeah.
then next year, when you come back for your junior year, it's 5 out of 5, and then your senior year, it's 5 out of 5 with 3 steals. That's the way we do this. That's how we grow. And she's getting the hang of it. And then I got McKenna floating around in space. I can't even explain to you how athletic this girl is. Just watching her go about things, it's just mind boggling to me, the things she does. And then you look and you can't figure it out, but yet she manages to do it. So trying to corral the crazy and get it all to be one working piece is where we're at right now. We're close. We looked really good Thursday in our preview. Like I said, we got a scrimmage tomorrow night against Ravenna. I'd like to see. I want to see, does this carry over, or was that a one trick pony? Where am I at with this?
No, I love it, man, and I'm a big fan of that be a pest, be annoying on defense kind of
Yeah.
mentality, and I love a lot of passes on offense too. I love sharing the ball too. So I mean, you guys are up my alley and the kind of basketball I like. Final question for you, Coach, because I don't want to take too much of your time, and it's a theme question that I'm asking all the high school coaches I talked to this season too. You know, I love my theme questions. It's what moment made you realize that this job was more than just basketball?
Um, Man, uh, Christ, 20 years ago, 21 years ago, a um, a young lady was having trouble identifying, and she didn't know who to talk to, and she come and sat down and talked to me, and we had a cry together, and we had a heart to heart discussion, And when I got home to my beautiful wife of 30 years, I looked at her and I said, it's not just basketball anymore. You're touching hearts. You're helping mold these kids, and they have real life problems. And to think highly enough of me to have that discussion because she didn't have anybody else to talk to, that was it for me.
That's got to be one of the best compliments or anything you can receive as a coach too, is just having that a player or anyone like that have that total and full trust in you and what you're doing too. I love it, man. I love what you do. I love the program that you're building, the culture you're always building over there too. And I'm excited for you guys to get back to some Bomber basketball this year too. And I feel like last year was just a big building block of what we're going to see this year and years beyond. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the process and seeing where you guys end up at the end of the season. Best of luck out there, though, Coach, and we'll be seeing you out there on the court real soon.
Hey, as always, we appreciate you guys covering us. Thank you, sir.